Hey, I'm Bev, and this is the Restart Life Mama. If you're rebuilding your life after survival mode, then you're in the right place because I know what it feels like to sit there staring at your life thinking, why can't I just get it together? You make the plan, you buy the planner, you create the routine, you promise yourself this time will be different, and then nothing happens because you get tired and overwhelmed. You miss a day and the schedule falls apart. So you crash and spiral, and that little voice in your head is telling you, see, you're a failure. I see you. The woman who's trying so hard to rebuild her life, trying to heal while parenting, while working and surviving, while you're still showing up for everybody else and wondering when you'll finally start showing up for yourself. I see a woman who isn't lazy. She's just been in survival mode for so long that growth and consistency feel terrifying and overwhelming because survival mode changed you. At some point, you stopped trusting yourself. You started believing that if you can't do something perfectly, then there's no point in doing it at all. And that's why so many women quit the moment the plan stops working, because perfectionism and social media and put your best foot forward convinced us that struggle means failure. And that's what I wish you would stop believing. Because this week I realized something powerful. A broken plan does not mean a failed future. Say it with me in your head and think about this week. A broken plan does not mean a failed future. Sometimes the routine fails because it was never built for the season that you're actually in right now. Sometimes your nervous system needs gentleness before it can sustain discipline. Sometimes rebuilding your life means learning how to make the plan adapt instead of forcing yourself into something that just isn't working right now. And that perspective changes everything. Because the moment you stop seeing setbacks as proof that you're failing, you finally become someone who can keep going. That's where momentum truly begins. Not in perfection or motivation, not in a flawless routine, in the decision to keep showing up with grace and saying, okay, this didn't work, so let me figure out another way. That is strength. And I need you to understand what's possible for your life if you stop quitting every time things get hard. And please hear me when I say that doesn't make you weak. You've gone through so much and have overcome and done so many hard things, but you had to do those things. Growth is a hardship you're volunteering yourself for. And after being in survival mode, it really is hard to do. But imagine waking up without immediately feeling defeated. Imagine trusting yourself again. Imagine becoming the kind of woman who doesn't collapse after one bad day. Imagine your children watching you rebuild yourself with patience instead of punishment. Imagine creating a life brick by brick, not through intensity, but through steady, loving consistency. That life is possible. Not because you suddenly become perfect or resilient, but because your identity starts shifting. You stop being the woman who abandons her goals and dreams and aspirations the moment things get messy. And you become the woman who adjusts, who learns, and keeps moving forward anyway. You become a woman who keeps promises to herself, a woman who gets back up, a woman who understands that healing isn't linear. A woman who knows there is always another way forward. And maybe today that's your next step. Not changing your whole life overnight, not building the perfect routine, just taking one step, no matter what. Drink the water, go for the walk, pray the prayer, read the page, post the content, start again. Not from shame, but from love and from grace and from the belief that your life is still worth rebuilding. Because your story does not end because the schedule failed. It does not end because you had a hard week. It does not end because you got overwhelmed. Sometimes rebuilding your life looks incredibly ordinary. It looks like trying again on Monday, and it looks like choosing not to quit. It looks like taking shaky steps while your confidence is still catching up with you. But those tiny, invisible moments, they matter so much because every single time you refuse to give up on yourself, another piece of you rises from the ashes, and one day you're going to look back and realize the strongest version of you wasn't built in the big breakthrough moments. She was built in the quiet moments where she decided to keep going. Remember, you didn't choose this mess, but you do get to choose what comes next. I'll see you next week.